In the dust of the lotus feet of my holy master, Paramaradhitamashila Guru Pada Padma, Nittalil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtotarata Shri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami. My same Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of my non-different Shiksha Gurudev, Paramaradhitam Vishnupad, Ashtotarata Shri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. To our Param Gurudevs, our grandfather, Gurus, Nittalil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtotarata Shri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Nittalil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Bhakti Vedanta Bhakti Jivan Janaran Goswami Maharaj, Nittalil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Bhakti Pradhan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, our whole Rupanuga Bhari Guru, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, all devotees of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Please accept my respect. Go ahead again.
Yeah.
So we've been speaking this week about Yoga Maya. In different cultures and languages around the world understand God in their own vocabulary. We can say in our language, paraphrase, that Yoga Maya is the grace of God. She is His mercy. She is His mercy even unto Himself. She fulfills the desires of everyone, even His desires. Especially Yoga Maya, this power, this energy of God, Bhagavan, Shri Krishna, is the energy of prema, the energy of love and affection, divine love, which is expressed through pastimes. Love is not an abstraction, it's an activity, it's an exchange, it's a relationship. It's a participatory, shared reality. That's prema. We're not going to attain bhakti, a state of bhakti. We're going to attain a relationship with Krishna. That's bhakti, that's prema. So we're looking this week at different ways how Yoga Maya acts. Go ahead. The pastimes of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual world, the pastimes of Gauranga, descending into this material world to bring that. Like at the top of the world is Lake Titikaka. At the top of the world, local custom is it's the origin of the world, the womb of humanity. Like evolutionary theory says that salamanders or fish grew legs and they climbed out of the lake and then they kept growing.
Sure.
That's their guess, but the local custom is that lake at the top of the world in the Andes, that life overflows from there. So Krishna Lila, the pastimes of the Lord in the spiritual world, that's the lake of life, the life-giving reservoir of pleasure. And overflowing from that lake and pouring down into this world, giving life to this world is Gaur Lila. Krishna's Kaviraj says that Krishna Lila is like a lake, and Gaur Lila is so many streams flowing out from that lake, bringing that hidden nectar to the world. But Gaur Lila, we mentioned last night, is also quite high, quite far from us. If we read the descriptions of the Sankirtan pastimes of the Lord and His devotees in Chaitanya Bhagavat, the ecstatic transformations that the Lord was undergoing, changing colors. Sometimes He was dancing in such a bliss that His body became like double fold too. He would bend in a circle. He would turn rainbow colors. Things we can't imagine a human being doing. When He wanted to take sannyas, mad in love for Krishna, He jumped in the Ganga in the middle of the winter and swam across. And everyone becoming mad after Him, thousands and thousands of devotees from Navadvip, they came running and they also, those who could fit in the boats, they filled the boats. Then when there was no boats left, some people jumped in the water and swimming across to see the Lord. And some people who couldn't swim, even pregnant mothers, and people who couldn't swim, they just Haribo, Haribo, on the power of the holy name. They crossed the river in the power of the name. They walked on water. We can't really imagine that so easily. It's not so applicable in my life, my present experience. Therefore those streams They come closer to us in the form, finally, Yogamaya, the grace of God, that invitation to enter into loving pastimes. Prem Dharma comes into our life, right to our doorstep in the form of the Vaishnavas, pastimes. The pastimes of the saints. Who they may be perfect, born perfect, coming from that higher plane, descending into this world. But like us, showing example, starting from step 1, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, taking initiation, coming to the temple, learning how to do services like washing pots, learning scripture, Sanskrit, getting a whole education in how to serve and how to understand theology. But really they're coming from that highest place. So we mentioned last night, Yogamaya always means relationship. And therefore, we're answering back when people say that, oh, we're all here because of Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm answering back, no, we're not here because of Srila Prabhupada. We're here because of the love between Srila Prabhupada and his Guru Maharaj. Because his Guru Maharaj gave him instruction, and he loved his Gurudev, life and soul. That instruction became his life. And he thought about it day and night for decades and decades and decades. Even though he was working as a householder, selling medicines and collecting money, he was only thinking, I'm collecting money for the preaching mission. He was always thinking, when he's making his little medicine packets and working for Bombay Chemical, he's always thinking, always obsessed with the instruction of his spiritual master. I think that Srila Prabhupada met with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati maybe 11 times. And I think it was so many years, between meetings sometimes. Or meetings, so many years between meeting and taking initiation. And others, big sannyasis, so many, they lived with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, they traveled with him everywhere. Srila Prabhupada was in his house, with his family, but always thinking, always thinking. Why? Because he said, when I first saw my Guru Maharaj, I learned what love is. He looked at me, and he loved me. And I learned what love means when I saw my Gurudev. So from that meeting, his whole life carried by that love and affection. And we spoke about those of us who didn't come through ISKCON. I came directly to my Guru Maharaj. Never was in ISKCON for one day. But still, how did my Gurudev come? I didn't find him. He came here. He came to the West. He came and found me. And the only reason he came, I can't say I came because of Gurudev. I came because of the love between Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. The love of Srila Gurudev for Srila Prabhupada broke his vow to never leave Vrindavan. He never wanted to go to the West. He never wanted to make disciples. He just wanted to stay basically unknown in Vrindavan doing his bhajan. But the love that he had, the Guru Maharaj had for Srila Prabhupada, was stronger than his love for Vrindavan. How can we imagine that thing? When there's a scale between following the instruction that my Shiksha Guru and Priya Bandhu Srila Prabhupada gave me to go to the West and help, on one side, and on the other side, to stay in the dust of Vrindavan, in the foot dust of Radharani. He left. One for the other. Srila Prabhupada's affection and love, to be near to the foot dust of Srila Prabhupada, all the places Prabhupada wandered in this world, was more important to him. It's not inconceivable. Everything, everywhere we look, this whole mission is manifested only by love and affection between transcendental persons. Like we heard that after the first, almost a year passed, 1966, Srila Prabhupada arrived in Boston, and he's trying to establish his mission, but almost a year passed and nothing had come. And he sent a letter back to Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, who was his godbrother and who he loved, who he had lived with in the same house for such a long time, even years. He sent a letter and he said, it's not happening. I prepared for so many years, 30 years, and I came in, it's not happening, they're not taking the message, it's not getting off the ground. I think I'm coming back. Prabhupada decided to go back. Okay, I tried, I did my best. The hearts of the Westerners are too hard. Cannot plant a seed in a solid stone. Has to be some soft soil. I cannot penetrate, cannot do. I'm coming back to Vrindavan. I'll do bhajan and die. I'm old already. Already heart attacks coming. And Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Maharaj sent back a letter. You went there on your mission. Now you complete it or you die there trying.
Be prepared to die there.
Do or die. That was his famous stamp on his heart, and when he stamped the hearts of others, Sri Maharaj. Do or die. You went there to do it, you stay there and you do it, or you die trying. And he stayed, and within a short time, the fire started to catch. And miracles, unthinkable things happened, and the whole world caught on fire in a Sankirtan Ras. And we're all here because of that. Because of what? Not because of Srila Prabhupada. Because of the love and affection between Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Maharaj. That he loved him and honored him so much. My godbrother, he loved so much, adored his godbrother without any pride. He could worship his godbrother like a guru, like Shiksha Guru. Sri Maharaj has told me to stay here and die trying. How unthinkable for a person who's lived in Vrindavan Dham in the dust, he lived in Radha Damodar for so many years doing bhajan, to die in New York City? No way. But ready to die, to follow the instructions and advice of his Shiksha Guru and Priya Bhakti and Godbrother. We mentioned last night also how ISKCON society exists today because Srila Gurudev saved it in legal battles, risking his life, traveling on the trains in the Indian summer after so many hard operations. Using as the evidence those very letters, the praman of the love and affection between Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. ISKCON would have been devoured as a family business, sucked dry of all of its assets, millions of dollars and properties, all sold. Everything would have been leached away and stuffed into the pockets of the sons of Srila Prabhupada from his previous ashram. ISKCON would not exist without the love and devotion of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj for Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. It wouldn't exist today. There would be no temples. There would be no society. It wouldn't be here. Society was created. The idea was born by love and affection between Srila Prabhupada and his Gurudev. It was nurtured between Srila Prabhupada and his godbrothers, protected by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Maharaj's love and affection. Served by Srila Gurudev from the background, sending the deities and mridangas. Protected and preserved afterwards by Srila Gurudev and continue to preserve. All the way at every step, this entire worldwide mission is just the sweat, the side effect of the love and affection, the prem vilas between pure devotees. Their love is at the center. The love and affection between saints is the living thing, and the reflection, the side effect of that is us. Like the sun and the moon, they're the great heavenly bodies, and there's a whole bunch of little stars. Well, these Vaishnavas revolving around each other, revolving in thoughts of each other. We are the stars, lucky little stars. So Vaishnava Lila is our practical salvation. If Krishna Lila and Gaura Lila is a little bit high for us, it's like going to seeing a wonderful, wonderful. They used to have this show called The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. You watch on television, see how people are living fabulous lives in their mansions and wealth across the ocean in some other continent, some wild, exotic place like England. People living in these bazillionaire mansions. Okay, it's surprising and everything, but it's television, it's so far away. But if you walk down in Christmas season, 5th Avenue, and you see the decorated window, all full of so many opulent things, Tiffany's or whatever, then right there, there's a glass in front, where you can see right there, this is real, it's not television. So that beauty and prem vilas that we might see on the television of Harikatha hearing about Krishna and Gauranga so far away, comes right in front of us, like we can stand with our hands on the glass, seeing and hearing about the lives of the Vaishnavas. Maybe we feel like poor little street beggar has not $1 even to go inside, or to speak of buying the diamond necklaces, of those type of relationships. But anyhow, pressing a nose to the glass, thinking, when, how I will enter into that. Praying the loss of the Vaishnavas, how I will become a Vaishnava and make relationships with the saints. So, it may be that Vaishnava Lila Katha is as powerful, must be as powerful, but it may be more powerful for us, more purifying for us, more touching to our heart to hear about the pastimes of the Vaishnavas. So a little bit, I just want to gaze in the direction of the pastimes of the saints. Srila Gurudev was born as a Ram Bhakta. And from the time that he could sit up, baby, in Vedic culture, when the baby's born, there's one type of ceremony. When the baby is, after a month or so, can turn over by himself, it's one type of ceremony. When the baby can sit up, there's different samskars and things. Some of them are bigger samskars and some are small. But as soon as Srila Gurudev could sit up, he would sit and listen to Hari Katha. His father used to speak Ramayana, speak from the scriptures, and people from all over the village and other places would hear from him. And he would sit patiently. So they called him Bolinath as a child. It's a name for Lord Shiva. It means like simple, satisfied. Because other children, they cry, they want something, but if there's Hari Katha going, he would just sit for hours and hear. When he got bigger, he would carry his father's books on his head and go to the place where father would speak Ramayana and listen with rapt attention for hours, and then go home, and in his dreams, the whole pastimes, watching everything. He said, I used to watch in my dreams all the battles of Ravan and Lakshman and Ram, Kumbhakarna. All those things would play out in my mind in my dreams, and I saw as if really happened. Gurudev said, when I was 9 years old, one night I woke from a dream and the room was full of moonlight. Like the window was open and the full moon was rising just outside, but inside the room, full of light. And when he opened his eyes, he saw at the foot of the bed, Lord Ram was there with Sita Devi, Lakshman, Hanuman. They manifested, attracted by his pure devotion. 9 years old, the Lord gave him darshan. And he jumped from the bed to catch the Lord's feet, and the Lord vanished. Going on, getting married, became police captain, doing his dharma, working in the fields with his father, making money to support the family. And one day a preaching party came. Narottam Brahmachari. He was a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Later he became Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj. Great acharya. At that time, there was a brahmachari preaching with the party, and he came to the village, the town where Srila Gurudev was stationed in his police work. And Gurudev, Hari Katha has come, some sadhus had come, and he came and he sat and listened to the whole Katha. But it was right on the border of Gurudev's from Bihar, and they're coming from Bengal, because Gaudiya mission means Bengalis. And so they came, and speaking in Bengali, and Gurudev didn't know any Bengali, but he would sit for 3 hours of Hari Katha, listening to everything. And he noticed him. This person is different. How he listens to Hari Katha. Did you understand the class? Nothing. So they didn't know, Narottam Brahmachari didn't know Hindi. And Gurudev didn't know Bengali. So the first Hari Katha that Gurudev ever heard of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in English. The only thing they both knew a little bit of was English. So in broken, whatever English they both could understand, could exchange. The whole class, after 3 hours of Katha, they would sit together and repeat everything in English. Gurudev became so attracted, he went the next day to the market and bought a mala and began chanting 64 rounds every day. For the rest of his life without fail. From day one, chanting 64 rounds every day without stopping. He became so absorbed in chanting Harinam, one time he forgot to go to work. Chanting Harinam to worship the holy name properly, sadhan bhajan, means to forget this world. Give the heart fully to God, fully to aspirations to love and serve Him, to thinking of His qualities. It means worship, to adore. And when there's taste coming, then that taste like a river, it carries the boat of the mind on its own stream. So Gurudev carried away, lost the day. When he opened his eyes, he saw that the sky was pink, and he thought, oh, it's about time to go to work. He saw the sky, instead of going from pink to bright blue, it went from pink to dark purple, to stars at nighttime. Oh. He understood, I just missed the entire day. Chanting Harinam, I lost the whole day and didn't go to work. And so much responsibility work, he was afraid. The next day when he went to work, he was afraid, how I'm going to be chastised, maybe I'll lose my job. And there's 30 people in his household, his wife and children, and his father, and the father's brothers and their families, and there's 30 people living in Gurudev's household that he's maintaining all of them. And if I lose my job, it's a big deal. And he went to work, and as soon as he walked in the door, everyone was clapping him on the back. Hey, the champion! And he was thinking, oh God, they're all being sarcastic or something. And the boss, hey, come, called Gurudev into his office, sat him down, closed the door. This is you, see? This is you on the list of promotions. You know, there's everyone in there, turn. You're down here, on the bottom of the list of promotions. This is you. But I'm moving you up here. I'm promoting you today. And Gurudev's thinking, why? What happened? He said, the work you did yesterday was incredible. The work of 10 men of 10 weeks, how you did so much yesterday. It was incredible. We need a man like you to take responsibility, take a high post, so I'm promoting you. Gurudev understood at that moment, with his biting his lip, Thakurji, Shri Krishna himself has come. By Yogamaya, taking my form and doing my work. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I carry the burden of those who depend on me. You're fully absorbed in me, forgetting everything for my worship. I have to. It's my job, my duty to take care. Gurudev understood that thing, and something changed in his heart. He understood. Krishna is so merciful like that, he'll come to work and do my paperwork. Then I should give my life for him. Other miracles, other things happened with Gurudev in his work, and when he finally understood, he ran away from home in the night. Through a deep forest, running to Bengal to catch a train, to go to Bengal, to Navadvip, to meet his Gurudev, who he never met before. Just had been exchanging letters with Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. Actually, we didn't know this until like last year. Srila Gurudev's brother is still with us, Siddhanath Prabhu. And he told us, actually Srila Gurudev, we found out later, Srila Gurudev had left home 9 times. He was being pulled by his heart to give his life to his Gurudev, but he would go in halfway running to the train station in the night and break down crying. But they all depend on me. I have children, I have my uncles, I have my cousins, I have my father and mother. They all depend on me. And he would cry and he would turn around and go back home to do his duty. But after some time, that pulling, just that madness, he explained, he said, I became mad to serve my Gurudev. I became mad to give my life and my everything to my spiritual master, whom he had never met. Just exchanging some letters, he could understand. This type of love and affection was alive in words on paper. That he could give up everything and think, my God, I've abandoned my family. I've abandoned the service of my parents. How possible? So he arrived in the night, in the middle of the night in Navadvip. Dead of night, he doesn't know where to go in the darkness. And there was a lantern swinging, coming toward him, one light in the darkness, calling his name. Tiwariji was his last name. Yes, that's me. There's no one else there in the train station in the middle of the night. Who would become his godbrother? Srila Vaman Maharaj. He said, come on, Gurudev is waiting for you. He said, I didn't send any message that I was coming. My heart pulled me out and I ran here. He said, no, Gurudev knew you were coming. He said that I should come meet you at the train station. When Gurudev came, he made such intimate relationship. Srila Gurudev, Srila Vaman Maharaj, and Srila Trivikram Maharaj. I wish we were going to set up a slideshow. I had some pictures of these Vaishnavas, see their forms, along with hearing their pastimes and qualities. They became so intimate. Gurudev would say that Srila Trivikram Maharaj, actually, when he was a brahmachari, his name was Radhanath. And he was in that first preaching party that came with Narottam Ananda, that came to Gurudev's place. He was there and met Gurudev the first time. And now Gurudev came and moved in the temple with him, and they became best friends. Gurudev said, he taught me how to preach, he taught me how to sing kirtan, he taught me how to collect donations for the temple. He taught me everything like a Shiksha Guru, but best friends also. They would eat together, they would sleep together side by side. Gurudev said we would fight together, always arguing about Shastra, always arguing philosophical points together. Like that. And decades passed serving. And by the love and affection, after Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj left this world in 1968, it was Srila Trivikram Maharaj who wrote the letter to Srila Prabhupada in America. Because Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, Gurudev's Gurudev, is a sannyas guru of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada was devastated to find that his godbrother and sannyas guru had left. He wrote a letter of consolation, of aggrievement, and had all of his disciples sign it. And Prabhupada said, I want, on the Guru Parampara, on the altars, that Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, my sannyas guru, his painting should be done, his picture should be made, and in all of our ISKCON centers, he should be there in the Guru Parampara. After Srila Bhakti Siddhanta should be Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. It didn't happen. Obviously, if you go to ISKCON, you don't see his picture there, but that was Srila Prabhupada's desire. Srila Prabhupada said he was afraid to take sannyas. I didn't want to take sannyas. But my godbrother, he forced me. Like Raghunath Das Goswami speaks, there's this verse for Sanatana Goswami Pad. I was afraid to take the nectar of devotion, which is laced with renunciation. But being compassionate on me, Sanatana Goswami, he forced me to drink. And Srila Prabhupada, he changed and wrote the same verse about Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. My godbrother, being compassionate on others, he forced me, even though I was afraid, to drink the nectar of Bhakti Ras, laced with sannyas. He made me sannyasi. He made me taste this nectar. So we can say that Srila Prabhupada, what he accomplished, his preaching all over the world, also accomplished by the love and affection and insistent demand of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. No, you're so qualified, you must take sannyas, you must preach. So Srila Trivikram Maharaj, when they got older, Srila Gurudev, for 60 years, he would do Brajmandal Parikrama, leading Brajmandal Parikrama from Mathura, Keshavji Gauriya Math. And the three of them would be together, and later when Srila Vaman Maharaj became too sick, then only Srila Gurudev and Srila Trivikram Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj. One godbrother of Param Gurudev, and godbrother of Srila Prabhupada, he became like the Shiksha Guru of the Gauri Vedanta Samiti. And he would lead the parikrama, and we heard, there's still some Vaishnavas with us who saw, like Shipad Ban Maharaj and Shipad Tirtha Maharaj, Madhav Maharaj, all of the sannyasis, they were young brahmacharis at the time. But they saw Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj and how he would manifest the symptoms of ecstasy that we read about in books, shivering and changing colors and crying, rolling on the ground, when he would visit these holy places. Those things that we hear about, but it's like we don't ever see in our life because we're not qualified. You know, the Vaishnavas, great Vaishnavas have all these bhavs in their heart, but they're not going to openly show in front of us. Otherwise we'll imitate them, or we'll make a show of it. We'll put snapshots with our phone and put it on Facebook, little Facebook videos of them going into ecstatic symptoms. So they conceal that. But in that time, before the Westerners came, and before there were cameras, and before there were recorders, when there was just a small group of sannyasis and brahmacharis, maybe 15 or 20 in parikrama, when they would come in these holy places, it was a safe place. These type of ecstasies would manifest. Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj was the only disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta would allow to speak Ras Katha in his presence. If anyone tried to speak about Radharani or anything, he would stop. No. Only Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj. He was allowed to speak. As long as he would speak, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada would hear. He was such a person that he's so soft, so full of affection, that in his temple the cows were so attached to him. When he would go outside in the morning, all the cows would come around him, like we read about Mahaprabhu, when Mahaprabhu came in Vrindavan, and the deer and animals would come and lick his body. So all the cows would come and crowd around him and licking him. One time, Srila Janardhan Maharaj, he was away somewhere, and our Gurudev was had come and staying in that temple. And the cows, when the sun came up, they saw all the saffron cloth hanging on the wash line, and they thought that Srila Janardhan Maharaj had come. So Gurudev and the brahmacharis and his traveling party, they were taking rest, and all of a sudden, their mosquito nets started being torn, their beds started being pushed, and when Gurudev opened his eyes in the darkness of the room, he couldn't understand. This creature is coming through. One cow had gone up the stairs. One calf went up the stairs of the temple into the room where the sannyasis and brahmacharis were sleeping. With his horns, was breaking the mosquito nets, going through, trying to find Srila Janardhan Maharaj to lick him and love him. And when she saw, oh, I don't know this person, she turned around and went back down the stairs, back outside with her tail down. Such a person. He would chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Radhe, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Radhe. Someone said, why are you chanting like that? That's not Maha Mantra. He said, listen, Maha Mantra is what? 8 names of Krishna, Krishna and Ram, and 8 names of Radhika. So equal. He said, if I don't give a little something extra to Radharani, my mind is not satisfied. Therefore, Hare Krishna, Radhe. So these type of persons, these type of Vaishnavas, together, and Gurudev and Sri Maharaj, after being friends, god brothers, and arguing about philosophy and for 60 years together, doing parikrama, then Gurudev, their nature, their heart to heart, but nature completely opposite. Gurudev always speaking about Radharani and these the treasures of our sampradaya. Sri Maharaj, when he got the mic, he would only speak about Bhogavad. Everyone only wants sense gratification. Everyone is mad after Maya. And just chastising everyone. Everyone was afraid of Sri Maharaj. And so when Gurudev, he would speak these wonderful, especially in Vrindavan, in the pastime places of Radha Krishna, when Gurudev would speak very high things about Radharani's glories, then Sri Maharaj would do one of 2 things. He would fall asleep. The higher that Gurudev's katha would go, the more that Sri Maharaj would seem to sleep. He would put his head down on the desk and just sleep like that. And Gurudev would say, he's pretending to sleep, but he's listening to every word. And if he wasn't pretending to sleep, the other thing he would do was interrupt and fight Gurudev and take the mic away. Sometimes he would take the mic away and say things like, if Radharani is so great, why does Krishna leave her and go to Chandravali? And Gurudev would become so upset, so agitated, and then he would take the mic back and begin, I think actually it was Navadvip Parikrama. 7 days they do Parikrama of Navadvip. And on the first day, Sri Maharaj said, I have one question. This is the first day of Gaur Mandal Parikrama in Navadvip. And this was his question. If Radharani is so great, why does Krishna leave her and go to Chandravali? And Gurudev was so upset. For 7 days there was nothing but Radha Mahima Katha. 7 days of the glories of why Radharani is so great. Gurudev said, Sri Maharaj said, you have to know how to beat the beehive so the honey comes out. How to be expert to scrape out. Sometimes he would say things to Gurudev like making, Sevakunj, the heart of Vrindavan, that place where Radharani's glories is shown so high, even Krishna wants to serve her. So Sri Maharaj would say, oh, making Krishna get down on his knees and paint her feet, decorate her with flowers, making Krishna serve her, this is bhakti, this is devotion. And Gurudev becomes so upset. How to explain? And then these deep, deep things, how this is the highest love and affection, how this is giving the highest happiness to Krishna, Gurudev would explain so many things. So, in the early 90s, just before Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj came, one small boy came. I'm just finishing with something that's still left for us. One small boy came from Bihar, 9 years old, he left everything. He came on, there was one small boy going on tour with a pundit from his village to different holy places. They went to Ayodhya, they went to Dwarka, they went to different places. When they came to Vrindavan, he said, no, they're going on to the next holy place. He said, Panditji, you can go on, I'm going to stay here for a while. There was a dharmashala where they were staying, and the old lady there had so much affection for him. She said, no, he can stay a month, 2 months. When you come back, you can take him back. But he became attached to Vrindavan and wouldn't go. Like when Pulasya Rishi was carrying Giriraj, or Hanumanji was carrying Giriraj Govardhan from the Himalayas to make this bridge to Lanka. When they came over Vrindavan, then this message came. oh, the bridge is complete, you don't need any more stones, put down what you've got. And Giriraj, he was put down in Vrindavan. So by Yogamaya's arrangement, he was satisfied not to go further. So this small boy, he stayed there in Vrindavan, and he never went home. After he was 11, 12 years old, he was called back to go home to get married, but he ran away the next day before the marriage. Caused a huge uproar and came back secretly to Vrindavan. That boy, when he came and he met Srila Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Maharaj, and Srila Janardhan Maharaj looked at him, he said, have you taken Diksha? I'll give you Diksha right now. Just by looking at him, he said, I'll give you Diksha. And then Srila Janardhan Maharaj, he dismissed his personal servant and made that small boy, Shyam Das, his personal servant for the rest of his life, which was only 1 more year. Then he left this world. So this small Shyam, he showed up, 12 years old, 13 years old boy, showed up in the parikramas. And Srila Trivikram Maharaj, whom everyone was afraid of. You know, all the sannyasis that we know in our Sangha now, who are now great scholars and gurus in their own right, like Madhav Maharaj, Tirtha Maharaj, and Ban Maharaj. That time they were brahmacharis, but very senior, good, senior people. And even they who knew so much and had dedicated themselves and left everything to live in the mat and serve, if they tried to speak anything, even in Vrindavan, sometimes even just taking once the name of Radharani, Srila Trivikram Maharaj would stop them, shut them down. But this small boy, 12, 13-year-old boy, when he would speak, Srila Trivikram Maharaj wouldn't stop. When the time was Srila Trivikram Maharaj's turn to speak, he said, I'm not going to speak, Shyam will speak. And he would give the mic to this 12-year-old boy. You speak. And he would speak on and on and on and on, and Trivikram Maharaj would close his eyes and listen to the glories of Radharani, drinking like nectar and not giving one word. Even Gurudev he would interrupt. Even Gurudev he would fight with. But this small boy, no, just drinking. So the others were upset. They went to Gurudev and complained. Trivikram Maharaj, he's favoring this little boy. If we say anything about, we take Radharani's name, he immediately shuts us down, shouts at us in front of everyone, we become afraid. But him, he gives him the mic and he says, go, 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 go. More, more, more. And so Gurudev called him. He said, you know some magic mantra? How you could change his mind? You can teach me? Because even when I'm speaking these things, he stops me. How he lets you speak like that? Trivikram Maharaj was a great scholar of Sanskrit. And little Shyam, he also was a scholar of Sanskrit. He learned Sanskrit early, and the two of them, one night we heard, they were arguing. One is an old man, 70, 80 years old, and one is a young boy, 14 years old, arguing in Sanskrit for hours, 3, 4 hours, back and forth until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And finally Trivikram Maharaj, because he cannot defeat the logic of this brilliant little 13-year-old boy. So, arguing, and then he would go under the bed and sleep under Trivikram Maharaj's bed. And going the next day, on parikram everywhere, holding the hands of Trivikram Maharaj. So there's so many things I wanted to tell, but one figure, one Vaishnava, one sadhu, would not allow to be spoken of. Like Lokanath Goswami, he told so many things to Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami when he was making Chaitanya Charitamrita. But then he said, I'm helping you with this on one condition, that you don't mention me anywhere in your book. So, anyway, that boy Shyam, later he became, now he's our Shripad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj. He took sannyas from Gurudev at the last moment. In the last year, the last Guru Purnim festival, the Gurudev was in this world, 2010. On Guru Purnim, the acharya will worship all of the different previous acharyas in a line. So there's all the pictures of the Guru Parampara. He's putting mala to the neck. Gurudev was putting a mala on Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Thakur Bhakti Vinod, Srila Gokashore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, his own Gurudev. And finally, after completing all of the Guru Parampara, he had one mala left. And he turned and put on the neck of this young Shyam, white cloth, brahmachari. And after a couple months, on some inspiration, dream inspiration, he went to Gurudev and took sannyas from him. Gurudev, that time, we saw him in Delhi. I remember when Gurudev was doing his sickness pastimes, and we went to India, to Raman Bihari Gaurima in Delhi, where Gurudev was being cared for. And standing outside his room, everyone was crying and doing kirtan. Day and night this kirtan was going on. And sometimes, briefly, not even every day, there would be just like Banki Bihari darshan. You know Banki Bihari? They only pull the curtain for a minute and then close. So Gurudev, we're waiting, okay, maybe there'll be darshan. The first door is open and the curtain is shut. And then they open the curtain and Gurudev was in his bed with his tubes in his nose and medical situation. And leaning on one hand like this. On one hand looking sick, but on the other hand looking like God on earth, looking like emperor, looks so strong, so noble, but so grave, not speaking to anyone. In the last of his pastimes, Srila Gurudev, he didn't speak to anyone. For days and weeks he didn't speak one word to anyone. Just like 90% of the day, 90% of the time, he was just sitting in his bed looking at the picture of his Gurudev. Day and night looking at his Gurudev, but not talking to anyone. But when he heard, oh, Sham has come, he wants to take sannyas, he became so excited like a little boy. Actually what happened is, there was some concern for Gurudev's health and things like that, so they told him, they saw Sham sitting outside, they said, no, not today, you can't come, Gurudev is not well. And the message wasn't given to Gurudev that he was sitting out there. They said, actually Gurudev is not going to give you, he's not giving sannyas to anyone today, he's already, cannot give mantra because he's already taken his meals. Like that, all the reasons you should go, leave Gurudev alone. But he wouldn't leave. And so finally, message came. Gurudev said, is someone sitting outside? He said, no. He said, yes, Sham is sitting outside. He's waiting. Bring him inside. So they called for him and came him in, brought him in. And when Gurudev said, you want to take sannyas? He said, yes. He became so excited that he hadn't been speaking, hadn't been, in such a grave internal situation, and now laughing and joking, just like he wasn't sick at all. Just like Srila Trivikram Maharaj, when he was in his last pastimes, about to leave this world, he was in coma, in hospital. And the car was made ready, okay, if he's going to leave this world, better that he leave in the Dham. Instead of the hospital in Calcutta, we'll take him to Navadvip. So they came and said, he's in a coma, but they said, the car is ready to take him to Navadvip. And immediately from his coma, he threw off the blankets, pulled out the tubes, and got up and walked to the car. So Vaishnavas, they do sickness Lila, but they're never sick. They're doing pastimes, and in a moment they can show. Narottam Thakur was criticized by Brahmanas. He said, he's not a Brahmana and he's giving diksha to Brahmanas. This is not proper. And so in the end of his pastimes, he manifested some paralysis, some sickness. And so all those envious Brahmanas, they said, see, look, this is the reaction for giving diksha to Brahmanas. He thinks he's so high, he can give initiation to those who are superior to him. Now look at him. And his disciples, they couldn't tolerate it. They were so upset. They said, Gurudev, this is not, we know you don't care, but we cannot tolerate you being defamed like this. And so they prayed to him, even though he was like an unconscious, actually in samadhi all the time. He said, please, we cannot tolerate this burning of your criticism. And that moment, Narottam Thakur jumped up from his paralysis and began spinning and dancing in the kirtan. And all the Brahmanas were shocked. This person who was like terminally ill is now dancing in the kirtan. He said, take me in the river. He went into the river to take bath, and as his disciples were bathing him, he melted into milk and merged with the river. Vaishnav Lila. So Srila Gurudev gave sannyas to Sham, he became Madhusudana Maharaj, and in the end of Gurudev's pastimes in Govardhan, just like Srila Prabhupada called to Srila Gurudev to his bedside, Srila Gurudev called to Madhusudana Maharaj in the night in his bedside. This type of love and affection, these pastimes of Vaishnavas. I don't have the eyes to see. I've heard something through my ears, seen something through my ears, but I couldn't understand because my heart is too hard. But these type of relationships we see manifesting again and again, generation after generation after generation. This parampara is a parampara of relationships. There's no, you cannot pluck Prabhupada from the tree and put him separate from his parampara, or any Gurudev from the tree and have them separate. There's always a connection, and everything they're doing is because of relationships, impelled by love and affection. And Thakurji becomes attracted to that. And I wanted to show a slideshow tonight about Yogamaya, because Yogamaya, she manifested. She came to Madhusudana Maharaj's seva. That very person we've been trying to speak this week about, and her influence. Her vigraha, her ancient deity, is manifested in our Guru Parampara. She's taken shelter of the Gaudiyas, accepted our seva. And I wanted to show so many pictures and things, but we didn't have a way to set it up.
One idea was downstairs with this.
Can we do it? Is it ready?
It's a white wall. White wall?
But we don't have a
No projector,
projector.
but it could be
We just
put on the TV. Downstairs it's a big, large screen. After the glass, yeah.
Here are the pictures.
Okay. Yeah, really, I didn't mean to speak so long. I just wanted to just sit like a scrapbook, or you know, if you have a book of photos from different family events or holidays or things, you flip through and you just look at one picture and you can understand so much about what was going on. Oh, this is, you can see the kids blowing out the candles, and someone with cake on their face at the marriage, and people falling in the pool. So many things come back to mind. So I thought we could flip through the pages of remembering some Vaishnava pastimes and get some idea, but I can't speak those things well enough. So I just wanted to speak a little bit and then show the pictures and things we can see. The Vaishnavas in Vrindavan and Yogamaya Devi. Can do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, maybe we'll have Arti or something?
Yes.
Prabhu,
Yeah, that's...
you never said what Gurudev said to Madhusudana Maharaj at his bedside.
Yeah, it's not, he hasn't said much about it either.
Hmm. So it hasn't been revealed.
Some things are there. You know, that particular thing was, like if we're speaking about loving exchanges between Vaishnavas, then what I've understood, what I've heard about what Gurudev showed to him at that time of his own feelings, his transcendental condition, it's something really personal between them. It's something, it's like the cream essence of a loving exchange between saints.
Hmm.
And so it's not something that has been advertised by Madhusudana Maharaj, and it's not something that I would advertise if I knew much about it. Just like that. Just that this type of theme is running through.
Hmm.
Okay. Thanks for everyone coming tonight and also this week. Trying to speak something about Yogamaya. I'm worried that perhaps I did some injury to the heart of my god brother tonight, and some sadness is dragging like an anchor about that. So I don't feel so satisfied with my offering tonight. Good talk. But everything is educational, but not all lessons are easy. Anyway, what else to say? Kirtan will do what we cannot do, the holy name. Do that.
Keep that. Bring it. Bring this.